So I'm going to talk about something a little bit different before getting back to the different pages and chapters. So many, many, many years ago, I'm bringing this up because of, I was just murmuring about technology stuff. So one day I went on Facebook, and my biological sister, Patricia Ann Hom Miller, had changed her Facebook status. And it went from that she was single to engaged. So I call up my biological sister and I'm like, what's going on? When did you start dating somebody? And she was just like, oh, I left you a voicemail. Really? I didn't get any voicemails. And she was like, oh, well, I've talked about it before. It was just your head injury. It's like, no, I don't believe that one. And she was like, no, we've had to talk about this guy. And I'm like, oh, talking about a male that you've been dating? Remember, you did have that threesome in our biological parents' bed, so that's kind of, but I don't remember that. Oh, it's just your head injury. No, I don't. Have I met the guy? And she was like, no. And I'm like, so I've never met the guy that you're engaged to, and yet I'm supposed to know that guy that you're engaged to? How does that work? And so I got really upset because anybody would. And so I was like, I want to meet this guy. And she was like, ugh, just don't embarrass me. I don't think I have to worry about that. I don't think I have to worry about embarrassing you. You doing a great job all by yourself, Patricia. Just all by yourself. So I drove from Carrollton, Texas to San Marcos, Texas. So for Zach's family, whenever they actually started dating, Patricia and Zach, compared to, 2008, just saying, that's when I learned of that, which, okay, fine, I get it. People considered me in my biological family the black sheep of the family, the one that, stood out. I guess it's technically a red sheep if you think about it, but anyway, so I drive all the way to San Marcos so I can meet Zach, which I didn't even get to know his name until right before being introduced to him. And it's just like, okay, this is going to be interesting. So I pull in. I had my yellow bug at that time, convertible, and pull in, and I call my yellow bug Bumblebee because it had the black strip and looked like a little bumblebee, and I had little flower plates put on the tail lights, and I had little eyelashes put on the eyelids, and it's Bumblebee. It's my little Bumblebee, and it is what it is. So I had showed up, and Patricia met me there, and she's like, don't embarrass me in front of my fiance. I was like, could you tell me your fiance's name? Just saying. And she's like, oh, I guess that's something you need to know. Yeah. Don't think it takes a head injury to figure that out, but okay. So she says his name is Zach. Okay. Now I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Hold on a second. So Zach walks in with sunglasses on, and he's all grrr grrr. He goes and gets his coffee, and I'm just like, okay. He sits down, and he's just like, what's up? And I'm like, nice to meet you. And he kind of, oh. And so he shook my hand, and I'm like, so, who are you? And he just kind of sat back down, and he's all, grr, grr. And I'm just like, yeah, that's nice. Take your sunglasses off. And he just looks at me, and he's just like, and I said, if you don't take your sunglasses off, and if you don't take your sunglasses off, I'm not going to speak with you. And he just sat there like this. And I look at him, I'm like, you're about to marry my biological sister, so I kind of want to know who you are. And Zach went from to, huh? What? What do you mean your biological sister? And I was like, yeah, I know we don't look alike. It doesn't take a head injury to figure that out. But thank you for taking your sunglasses off finally and being respectful. I mean, you are inside of a building. And I just... What a little militaristic. Take your sunglasses off, take your hat off, be respectful and stuff. And he looks at me and he's like, and his sunglasses were off at that point, and he's like, what do you mean? Like, Tanny, she said that I was meeting, like, a sister of hers. I thought she meant one of her sorority sisters. And I was like, no. I'm her biological sister. And, yeah, like, didn't our biological parents tell you that, like, I existed? And he was like, no, Mike and Anna never mentioned anything about Patricia having a sister at all, ever. I was like, well, hi, how are you? I'm the oldest, nice to meet you. I didn't make that big of a deal of it. It was just one of those, yeah, so, I was born first, so, hi. And nice to meet you. Who are you? And what are your intentions? And he was just, oh my God. And I was like, so, I'm just wondering, I know my biological parents and my biological sister apparently didn't tell you that, hey, but hey. And he was just, so you're related? Yep. I was born in 82. That was born in 86, so, what's up? Who are you? And he was just like, could you tell me about yourself first? Oh my God, please tell me about yourself first. And I was like, okay, well, her biological sister. I'm in Texas because I had a head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000, and I was during basic training, and I was medevaced to Fort Sam Houston, and I woke up in the state of Texas, and I stayed. What else do you want to know? And he was just, okay. me? And I'm like, I have no reason to be mad at you at this point in time. So, you know, who are you? And he was like, so I'm going to be a police officer. Oh, well, thank you for your service to, you know, wherever you're going to be a police officer. That's cool, you know, and go down the list and stuff. And we talk back and forth. And Patricia, the whole time, she's like, oh my God, you are so embarrassing. Ugh, like, why do you have to be just, you? And I'm just like, 'cause I'm me that way. You didn't know think Henry to figure that out. That's why I'm me. 'Cause I'm me. Anyway, less than 3 months later was their wedding. And as a quick side note, my biological sister was like, oh, I need to get like an outfit for the wedding night. And I was like, oh, if you come to my house in Carrollton, I have plenty of outfits that are brand new that you can look through and you can choose from that still have the tags on. And she was like, okay, so she drove to Carrollton, Texas, and I only went to the dresser. I didn't even take her to my closets. So I pull out this one outfit, and it's this pink negligee. I wound up modeling in a picture of it later because she was so, well, I'll get to that. So it has this pink strap with like silver chains on it, and it's like this little short dress negligee thing with like French cut bikini and like little chains like right here, just on each side. And pull it out, still has the tags attached to it, and Patricia looks at it and goes, oh, and I was like, what? It's just like clothing. And she goes, oh my God, Susan. And I'm like, yeah, what? She goes, I can't believe you have that. And I'm standing there thinking, you had a threesome in our biological parents' bed. And you're going to suck the oxygen out of my bedroom because of a pink negligee? Oh, no. Threesome in our biological parents' bed. Pink negligee. That was when you were in high school that you did that. And you've graduated college. You got your bachelor's degree and you're working on your master's degree. I don't know. I have this weird feeling that in high school and then college, you might have like worn less than this pink negligee. And since you had a threesome in our biological parents' bed, I don't know why you're losing your shit right now. Well, she ran out of the bedroom. And I was like, okay. Guess I'll just, and I didn't realize what happened, like, meaning that she actually left the house. So I start pulling out different outfits. I'm like, well, if that's too, like, scandalous and stuff, let me look for something that's, like, not nearly as, like, so I go through the whole, you know, several drawers, and I'm looking, I'm like, maybe those will work. So I go out after like maybe half hour, 45 minutes. And my front door is open and I was like, what the fuck? I go to the door and her car is gone. And, get my phone, call her, she won't answer. I'm like, oh, well, that's a fucking like repeat. And so I call our biological parents, and biological father answers and he's like, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, yeah, like, where the fuck is your daughter? And he goes, well, I'm talking to you. And I'm like, yeah, but like, where's Patricia? And he goes, oh, yeah, you kind of scared her. I was like, really? How did I scare her? He said, because whatever you showed her was too risky. And I was like, really? It was too risque? I don't think so. I don't think so. No. No, no, no. So later I find out she was wanting some floor length, like, something, whatever. And I'm just like, yeah, you've been dating for a while? And you had, I'm just have a hard time, like, pun intended, have a hard time believing that this light pink negligee is just too much. Was it the chains? Is that what it was? The chains were just like, or what? Whatever. So, fast forward to the time of the wedding. Now, my biological sister said she wanted my daughter to be the flower girl, and she wanted my son to be the ring bearer. Okay, fine. What are the colors of your wedding? Now, by traditional standards, I'm just going to say, by etiquette traditional standards, she should have paid for the dress and she should have paid for the suit. But I decided to take care of it, fine. So I got the suit for my son, I got the flower girl dress for my daughter, fine. So, any normal person would automatically be like, okay, well, those are the colors of the wedding. I'm your biological sister. My children, your niece and nephew, are going to be the flower girl and the ring bearer. So, oh, look, in my closet I have a gown that matches. Colors. Don't want to wear black. Obviously, don't want to wear white to a wedding. So, the lavender gown that I had, it was form-fitted. I think it's an empress cut, straight across with the empire line right here, A-line dress, spaghetti straps, but I had a shawl that went with it. And it was a matching sheer color lavender shawl with glitter in it. I was like, okay, I can make that work. I show up with my son and daughter. My biological mother meets me at the front door and she's like, oh, it's wonderful you brought the kids. Have a good time. And I was like, well, if you get out of the way, I guess I could go inside. And she's like, wait, what? And I look at her and I'm like, shouldn't I meet Zach's family at some point in time? And she was like, oh, you planned on staying for the wedding? Yeah. Call me kooky. Kind of thought that, if my son is going to be the ring bearer, my daughter's going to be the flower girl, my biological sister is getting married, I guess, maybe, yeah, it makes sense. I don't think it takes a head injury to figure that out. And she was like, Anna, my biological mother, goes, well, we're going to go get our hair and nails done and eyebrows done. So we'll take James and Lydia with us, and you can, go do something instead. And, the wedding starts at this time, and I was like, well, can I get some time to set up the camera? Because I was going to surprise Patricia and Zach with wedding pictures. I was going to, do all that sort of stuff. And they were like, yeah, we already got a wedding photographer. And I was like, okay, but, it's a wedding, so you can't really have too many pictures. And they were just, at that point, my biological sister came outside with some of the bridesmaids. And they were all, hee, and I'm like, hey. And Patricia goes, oh, you're still here? And the bridesmaids were kind of like, who is that? And she's like, don't worry about it. And I'm like, hey, I'm her biological sister. Hi, nice to meet you. Apparently she didn't tell you guys about me either, so hey, how you doing? What's going on? Hi. Apparently my biological parents didn't tell you about me either. Hey, what's going on? Oh, you're all gonna go get your hair and nails done? I drove here from Carrollton, Texas to Austin, Texas. Okay. All right. Well, you guys go have fun. I'll go drive around and see what there is in Austin. I'm sure there's something. And now, ironically, if I had known to, or thought about looking up on FetLife, I might have found a munch to have gone to, but instead I just drove around. And so, went to different places and then got back to Zach's parents' house in Austin and get my gown out and, waited for them to show up because obviously they had no idea who I am at all. And I didn't want to, scare them any more than apparently was gonna happen. And so Patricia and Anna and the bridesmaids with my son and daughter show back up, and Patricia gets out of the car and she's like, oh, you're here. And it's like, yeah, my children, right? Yeah, you got my son, the ring bearer, my daughter, the flower girl, and my children, of course, run up to me, give me hugs, and it's like, I love you too, let's go get ready and go get dressed, apparently. I don't get to freaking do the checking of the camera. All right, well, whatever. Hope the pictures come out okay. It's a brand new camera, which I took a picture of my biological sister with my two children in my house in Carrollton, Texas, with the Christmas tree that I decorated in my library area, but that is what it is. Because she wanted a picture of her with her niece and nephew. Later, I found out she wound up telling people they were her children when they weren't, because she didn't give birth to them, obviously. So, going to the house, go and get dressed and put that lavender gown on. My biological sister comes out of whatever area in Zach's parents' house and looks at me and goes, why are you wearing a lavender dress? Wedding colors or what? And Patricia says, lavender, black, and silver. Lavender gown? Yeah, but people are going to think you're a part of the wedding party. Oh. My bad. I mean, you're only my biological sister. You're only getting married. My children are your niece and nephew, being the flower girl and the ring bearer, and I'm the asshole for wearing a lavender gown because people might mistake that I'm in the wedding party, huh? At a wedding, who'da thunk? And she said, people might think that you're related to me. And I'm like, well, probably not, because we don't look alike. But whatever. Do you want any help getting ready? No, you've done enough. Okay. Excuse me, I'll just go down the stairs and, what the fuck is this bullshit? So I go down the stairs and Zach's coming around the corner with one of his best men or groomsmen or whatever. And I'm like, hey, soon-to-be brother-in-law? I don't even know. And he looks at me and he's like, you're in a dress. And I'm like, yeah, I can wear dresses. Go smoke a cigarette. And him and his groomsman or best man, whatever it was, they just kind of look at each other and Zach goes, Susan, you're wearing a dress. Really, Zach? No shit. I thought that when I put it on over my head and it went down to the ground, that it was a dress. But thanks for letting me know. And he was, oh my God. And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be a dick. Like, your soon-to-be wife, and just walk out. And so, go and calm down after several cigarettes. Several. And this older gentleman comes over to me and he's like, so you're smoking? Yep, at that time it was an actual cigarette. Yep, I'm smoking. Is it okay? Like, I can move further away. I prefer not to because, like, I don't want to get lost because this is a big property. And he was like, why would you get lost? And I was like, so I had a head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000. Get lost really easily. And the guy looks at me, he's like, what do you mean you who are you? I was just like, oh, you know the bride? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, I'm her biological sister. Hi. Have you seen the ring bearer and the flower girl? Yeah, they're cute. Yeah, those are my children. And he was just like, oh, so are you part of the wedding party since, you know, the bride's your biological sister? No, apparently not. Apparently, you know, don't mistake the fact that, you know, I have a lavender gown on. Apparently that's an issue. And the guy goes, well, like, there's other people here who are wearing lavender that aren't a part of the and I'm like, well, apparently that upset my biological sister. Is what it is. Do you know where I need to put the butt of the cigarettes so that way I don't upset, like, whoever owns the house? And he goes, so hi, I don't remember his name. Oh, hi, I'm Susan. Nice to meet you. So Patricia has a biological sister? Yeah, that's me. Nice to meet you. So the rest of the wedding, because, yeah. So I take pictures of the wedding cake. I did an inversion on the picture that I had taken, changing the way the colors were, and did different angles around the wedding cake. That was 3-tier, much smaller than the one that I cooked, but obviously not as big of a wedding. And so, in reference to Felicia. And so did the whole wedding thing, pictures, did the whole pictures of, like, as my biological father and biological sister walked down the stairs, did those pictures, did the pictures in reference to, like, the different grooms, guys, and bridal, they're not flower girls, bridesmaids, did that, and, you know, all the different ones going down the wooden staircase to the wooden patio. And I was just like, okay. And then did pictures from the very, very back because I needed to be that far back for Patricia to not look at me and give me like a, and then my biological parents to not look at me and go. Of course, I got pictures of my son with the stuff and my daughter with the stuff, and I was like, okay. And so I even got all those pictures developed at either Walmart or Sam's Club and sent them in a photo album to them. And Patricia was pissed off at me later on because I took decent pictures or whatever. Excuse me, my bad. Whatever. And so did that whole thing, and none of them were edited, none of them were cropped. I just did the pictures the way I did, you know, with the exception of the inverted wedding cake pictures, colors. And so that was it. No Photoshop, nothing. Everything was done the way I did it. I changed the way the clouds were, like, before taking the pictures, because I was like, okay, I don't want that one there, but I want that one there, so click, and here's what it is. So, during the wedding reception, the very brief amount of time that I was there, talked with a guy who was in a wheelchair, and he and I spoke for a while, and then, you know, talked with a few other people, whoever they were. I guesstimate they were probably on Zach's side of the wedding. And just, you know, for those who did not believe me when I said, no, my biological family does not like me. There's an example, or a few. And so, but later on, that same year, I was told Thanksgiving dinner was going to be early. Okay, whatever. So, sitting at the dining room table, my biological sister goes, Susan, aren't you going to be so happy with who our next president is? Like, are you, well, she didn't say next president. She said, aren't you happy to be voting for the first black president? And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And she goes, who are you voting for? You're voting for Obama, right? I was like, oh, he's going to wind up being the next president, but no, I'm voting for McCain and Palin. I'm not too happy that they are using Palin for the female vote, but they're not essentially going to win because just because they have a female as the vice president doesn't on the ticket doesn't guarantee that. And so, you know, it's actually got, you know, no offense to Sarah Palin. I mean, she's really pretty, she's really smart, but, you know, no. I mean, I'm still voting for, out of the two to choose from, I'm going to vote for Senator McCain and Sarah Palin over, you know, who did become President Barack Obama and Vice President Joe Biden. As no offense to those guys, it's just there's no military background. No, there's no at minimum military academy or military school. Whereas, you know, because Patricia was just like, look at you. I mean, look at your hair. How could you not vote for President who became President Obama? Look at your skin. How could you not vote for who became President Obama? Really easily. When I go into the voting booth and it says president selections, I'm going to click on the part where it says Senator McCain or John McCain and Sarah Palin and not Barack Obama and Joe Biden, even though I know that they're going to get the presidency and vice presidency. This is my opinion. I think that if you are going to be commander-in-chief of the United States of America's armed forces, every branch, you have to have a background where you have some understanding of the military, because at least if you have a minimal, even if it is some military school, at least you have an understanding of the ranks, at least you have an understanding of all these different things. At least you're not going to be upset if the military guys, law enforcement guys, whatever, are just, and you know, and it's not any offense towards who became and is now former President Barack Obama and Joe Biden. They just don't have the military background. So where they could be buddy-buddy with the military guys and law enforcement guys before, they don't have that option when, you know, essentially he became commander-in-chief. It's nothing it's not offense towards either one of them. I don't really care that one of them is black. I don't see any black, but whatever. And she's like, but look at you. Look at your hair. What about my hair? Yeah, I know it's short. Yeah, I know it's red. I had a head injury. I deal with headaches and migraines. What's the big deal? Look at your skin. Because at that time, I had these tattoos and these, that one, and then the one that's underneath this one at that time. I did not have these. And I was like, I don't understand what my tattoos have to do with anything. I don't understand what my hair. Well, you have like those tattoos. Look at your skin. Look at your hair. You should automatically vote for the first black president. No, my skin stuff has nothing to do with it. My hair has nothing to do with it. What has to do with it is the fact that who is president, who is commander-in-chief, they are in charge of all of the armed forces. All branches, not one, all of them. yeah, they have to be personable and be able to speak with the different non-military branches of law enforcement, but they still can't be upset when law enforcement is law enforcement because it's, you know, the way they are. It's part of the training. They have to be blunt and to the point. When you're, you know, with the Congress and Senate and other elected and non-elected officials that are up in, you know, DC, I'm going to guesstimate, yeah, it's okay for you to be all, you know, hey, what's going on, bump, whatever. But when dealing with the military guys, and not in a negative connotation, just in when having discussions back and forth, what needs to be done, the different ways here, this, that, and the other, you have to be able to understand they're not being mean to you, they're not being rude when they call you sir or ma'am or whatever it is, because, you know, I'm not going to denounce the fact that there will be a female president of the United States of America one day. When that female presents herself and has proven to be strong enough, unbiased enough, not doing certain things. I mean, it's no offense towards former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. You know, it just realistically who she was going against, and the current president of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump, and he does have the military academy background. And he has, you know, Vice President Pence, who has that understanding of how to talk with the Congress and Senate and all that sort of stuff. And so there is that balance. And so, but at that time, back in 2008, Patricia was just, why? And I'm like, because. And the whole time, her husband, Zach, is just shoveling food in his face. And it's like, I know. If wifey's happy, lifey's happy. It's all good. Like, but it wasn't him that was coming at me. It was her. And it's like, no. Well, it got so heated. My biological sister is literally leaning on the table and look at you. Look at your tattoos. Look at your hair. And I'm just like, yeah. So what? Well, our biological father got to the point where he was like, no, it's over, it's done, no, stop. And I was like, okay, whatever. Well, to end on a funny note, as as dinner continued, I look over and my son is on one side, my daughter's on the other, and both of them have their elbows on the table, and I have this thing about etiquette. And I go, get your elbows off the table. And every single person went like this. And I was like, I was talking to my children? Apparently, you were guilty, and that's why you all put your hands up. And okay, fine, you know, it's cool, you know, but I was talking to them, and every one of them were like, we just didn't want to piss you off. And I was like, well, I wasn't looking at you guys. I mean, I noticed, but, you know, you're adults. I'm teaching my children to, you know, eat correctly. Anyway, you have a good one. Subscribe to my channel. Share my channel on social media platforms. I'll put links and stuff like that. And you guys have a good one.